We are back. 2 more games to go, and indeed, with that win, the Wildcats did manage to put themselves up into first place. Only 6 points ahead of TonyTeam, but things are indeed getting close and scary. And as we can see here, decent Southern players out very early. We barely even got the plane on, but players are already jumping. And if people say Southern circles on a wrangle, I mean military games, does that mean that this gives us an island ending? I'm gonna leave that one out there for you guys. You decide. You guys decide. You have 45 seconds now to agree in the Twitch chat if we should have an island ending or if it should go on land. So press 1 for island, press 2 for not island, and then of course the majority vote will decide where the circle goes. In any case, very southern plane. So I'm curious to see where actually it's gonna be very damn impactful where the circle goes. Because should it shift hard north, then that's gonna be chaos. There's gonna be so many teams. Also, look at how many teams we have looting on the southern side. That's another issue, right? If the circle goes back to where we were last game on the southeastern side, things could get very tricky for teams trying to get there. But now let's see, where are we headed? Well, I'm looking down towards the islands. They are in, and who knows? Who knows? Maybe, just maybe, there's a little chance that we get that island ending. I've never had the pleasure of casting an island ending before. I've seen them happen. I've seen them being casted by others. I've had one of them in a public game, but I've never ever casted an island ending. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe this is the time. And if we just called it, then I think it's pretty impressive. If we actually called in chat that it would be island ending, then I think that would be pretty impressive. But we'll have to wait and see. I want to see though. Well, huge potential. Zolters ain't gonna find 2 kills early this game. At least not as early as it did last game. That would have been impressive, given the fact that he is not near any opponents, and also despite the fact that it was a very off-angle plane. I mean, very hard to reach most destinations. We haven't seen any kills yet, so I would have thought maybe given that that a lot of teams couldn't get to where they wanted, that we'd seen teams fight early, but it's not the case. Not the case at all. And also, in case you guys haven't noticed, we're playing 2 Miramar games today. Just in case you know, I mean, you can never expect everyone to know everything, but in case you hadn't noticed, we are still on Miramar. So 2 Miramar games today, and then we're gonna hop over to a wrangle for 2 games tomorrow. I can quickly provide information that I will not be casting tomorrow. It's going to be someone else. Who it is, I do not know, but it's going to be someone else casting your matches tomorrow, and of course, I'm sure that he or she will provide just as good coverage as anything else, and it's going to be really interesting. I'm gonna be very curious to see who will make their way through. I already have my eyes on some teams, but then again, I mean, a team like Sellis, a team like Stella, they have had some really dominant performances, but then they've also had some of those 0-point games where you go, it is only 16 games, you know. I mean, yes, technically top 8 shouldn't be that difficult to get for a team that is very dominant and kill heavy, but kill heavy teams without placements can also be 0-point teams. And oh my lord, Xkeevo. I am going to do, you know, like Men in Black when they take the flashlight up and flashlight myself, because I did not just see that. I did not see that, and I don't think Xkeevo did either. I think Xkeevo is Xkeevo, what you should do right now is not be upset, just ignore, forget, because I've seen you land some insanely good shots. I've seen you land some very good shots, but those were not the ones that I've seen before. Let's see if HeartShift can do it better. MJO, full spray on towards 1. Algo is out of the vehicle, and that's the issue, right? That is the scary part of taking these engagements, because right now MJO is by himself, and he has to get the hell out of there. Rezu jumped out of the vehicle. Algo is close, and they might now be the ones to shoot MJ out of a vehicle. This could be scary. This could be Karma striking at its finest, but seems like he is gonna be able to get away from there. And of course, we saw this circle just before. Not an interesting one to work with whatsoever. And And we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see if these teams can somehow manage to give room for everyone. Because as you can see, intruders are already in the circle. We had Extens in the south side, and now Existence in the south side. Extens is the player here shooting at MJ, and he's the one being shot at right now. Kind of ironic how he was the one shooting up rotations, and now he is getting shot at while trying to rotate, and he has to make the run for it now, and he's nowhere near his opponents, so not exactly an easy situation for him whatsoever. Existence, the team that I was just talking about, they are indeed making their way further sent out. I think that they'd be satisfied with the compound that they had, but having seen many... Wait, are they giving up the compound to play in that dip? Huh, okay. So there, I would argue that the compound is more valuable, even in this circle where it's a little on the southern side, but I would argue, sorry, hiccups, that would be the better place to go to. We'll see though if they decide to send 2 back maybe, or just getting all 4 of them up to secure it. But nope, not gonna happen. Perfect God and Boris, they're gonna steal that spot away from them. You saw ewanng on your minimap there in the corner trying to go to a spot, but they gave up the compound to play in the dip. That's not something you see done too often. Normally, especially in this area of the map, compounds are a little more prioritized, but of course that dip can provide with plenty of vision. But when it comes to cover, you do not have that much of it, and if the circle shifts in the wrong direction, it can be hard to really get out of there, because you have to drive past so many different compounds with, well, most likely at least, a lot of teams sitting and just waiting for you. Istanbul Wildcats trying to destroy some vehicles for Ferrari Breach, so they're getting shot at by multiple teams on their rotation. And then you have MJO. Well, his team has a compound, that's of course something. Have Mike, Kowo, and the last remaining player, Nihanas, up on inside the compound, and then MJO is running down by Los Leones, running forward, and seems like no one's really expecting this circle to go to the islands. But of course, chat, we all know where it's going, right, chat? Everyone said 1 in the chat. Everyone said bless RNG to islands, and and these guys deserve to know that real soon that circle is gonna super duper ultra mega hard shift out east and make life very miserable for a lot of players. Nailcorp finds 2. That's gonna be the flush in there as well. Nailcorp has been stepping up this last or today, honestly. He's been doing really good. Intruders didn't really have the best start to the tournament, but they've made up for it. One of those teams that have kind of turned things around now. Oh my lord, these shots are getting close. Nailcorp is getting a little bit of a haircut as we speak. A little bit of a haircut thrown in for him. MOLNMAN scouts forward, realizes the compound is taken by FBI or Ferrari Breach, and they'll now be forced to see if they can find somewhere else to get to the circle from. Maybe a little further north. Should make things a little easier. Try to wrap around Lapendida. Might be able to get themselves into a better position from up there. Porto Paraíso gonna be left by huge potential. They were rotating all the way around the southern side. They'll make their way further towards the circle. 45 seconds to go. And we will indeed know where these guys are headed. Again, with this first shift, I'm doubting that it's gonna go to the islands. But then again, I mean, we never know. We've seen crazier things before in terms of where circles went when we thought something was gonna happen and something else did. So we'll have to wait and see just exactly how this is all gonna unfold. TonyTeam full speed forward on the buggy, getting ready for that next rotation, potentially. The same thing going on here with Crazy Crew. 15 seconds to go. We've only lost 3 players so far. 15 seconds to go. And we will indeed see where we're headed. Crazy Crew gonna start the rotation early. And now, boys, now's the time. And girls, sorry. Now's the time to get the spam in for the island circle. No. Okay, so unless... No. Nah, no. It's not gonna happen. Unless with the next circle, and even if it does... If it hard shifts to the east side of Impala, then maybe. But no, it's unfortunately probably not going to happen. But what we do, though, even though we might not get the island, we are including a ton of water. So there's still very limited playable area. I mean, considering the fact that the entire northwestern side is an open field with compounds, where you can't really play the field other than, well, sorry, the compounds. Taking that into account, it does make things pretty damn difficult. In terms of having, well, honestly, anything to really play around here. So even though island might not be given to us, we could potentially see a military circle next game. Team Spirit trying to make their way further around. Toxic Team is there waiting, and moynick-sando is the one trying to hold off. Nate thrown forward, knows approximately where Asmadeyka is. Asmadeyka has been way up there in terms of damage too, but not there this time around. Jambawe down in blue, not sure exactly what happened there. And, well now, Proof and his teammates, despite having just lost the player, need to do something. They were in all kinds of joy when they had a chance to make a play. What is that guy doing there? Oh, there. Okay, thank you, welcome back. All kinds of joy when they were there before, but now they're the ones under fire. Same thing happening here. MJO by himself going to get flushed. And Istanbul Wildcats with a win last game managed to rack up some more points. Istanbul Wildcats already had a win on Miramar, so this makes 2 of those. Very, very good performance by them over the last 2 days for sure. Very tough first day. I believe they actually sat at either last or second to last place after the first day. But then starting off day 2 with some good wins. That's not true. Stella is still alive. They're driving on your screen, but it's just Jambawe. Just Jambawe eliminated in the blue. Might have DC'd. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but Stella are indeed still alive. We haven't lost a single team just yet. Just a game trying to bait us every now and again. Oh, that's that's gonna be LG flipping his vehicle over the side of the road. Might actually get to save this one. He has lost a wheel, though there's nothing to come for in terms of driving that car any further. He does hear the buggy coming around this side, and well, Sammy's out. Pluto's been spotted. I'm not sure exactly why Pluto is running. Didn't he have a vehicle too? Or were all of Crazy Crew running around that side of the circle? I'm not quite sure. But they're trying to make their way out towards the eastern side, which does to a certain extent make sense. ToxicPlayers again, the player on the team to do damage. It's impressive to see how all their engagements, practically pretty much all engagements that Crazy Crew are involved in, always starts with ToxicPlayers getting a knock. It's very, very impressive to see how one player can have such I don't know if I'd say impact, but yeah, I mean, I guess it is technically impact on how they fare in engagements. Oh, mageBane landing a knockout, at least a shot out of distance. We'll see in the new circle. Are we going east? Are we somehow getting out to those islands? Very unlikely, but no. I mean, okay, so the island is in, but I don't think that's gonna happen. What I do think is gonna happen is the circle is either gonna HeartShift south or west, because as far as I know, the mountain on the eastern side of Impala has a very hard time being in, but at the same time, you also have to go away from the water. So I think the game right now has reached a point at which this will be an unstoppable train hitting an unbreakable wall. I'm not sure exactly where the circle can shift in this case. What I am sure about is ewanng and... Are they alive? Did they just survive that? Oh, I guess I said that too early. ewanng does get found. He should be able to get flushed as well. It does happen. Guess who is going to be there as well? With this circle shifting, where so many teams are making their way towards this damn city of Impala. Guess who, trying to hold off, has to reload. Is down on his knees, quick around the corner, not able to get the knock in there. Existence eliminated in 15th place. Guess who somehow manages to stay alive in a situation where they were in for much more than they probably wanted, with them flying full speed forward in the beginning, and their remaining 2 teammates in Fine and mageBane, they are caught out, to say the least, in the dip in the open. They have 3 teams around them looking down towards them like vultures, just waiting for their prey to eventually fall over so they can come in and take the kills from Mikhailovic. Perfect got an extents there. At least they're holding their horses for now. mageBane and Fine, on the other hand, they're running towards Impala. That's not gonna be an easy run to make it all, but they do have those silos down there that they can play from at least for a little while longer. Not going to be easy for them to really do anything from where they are. Perfect got taken down by Mike. The 3 remaining players from Stella have to make some plays here. It's not gonna be easy though. They're outside the circle, and as you can see, all of Istanbul Wildcats are trying to hold them off. 5 trying to run to the circle alongside Radruga. Where can they go though? Big question. This shack is inside, so technically they don't have to go any further, but MJ Esports just surpassed them, and I think they kind of took the spot they were hoping to get. So if I was them, I'd probably play it a little more quiet and wait for that circle to be shrunk in, and then whenever MJ Esports don't expect there to be anyone else in the north any longer, then maybe, just maybe, they can try and make a play from there. We have ToxicTeam, we have Intruders, we have Level, and we have two, or maybe one of the players from Rewap inside. Beami down. MOLNMAN found through the smoke by LaZheSanzhar. That's a well-connected shot. Still in all kinds of trouble. And this is the vehicle miles out. I think that's actually MOLNMAN's vehicle. Yep, that is MOLNMAN's vehicle. That's unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Sellis, only player to make it through. 2 crates by the water. Does that tell us where we're going? No, it doesn't. So it shifts over towards Impala, to be expected. And Crazy Crew have an amazing position to play from right now. But what a hell of a headshot by LaZheSanzhar towards MOLNMAN. Nothing he could do in that situation. He's going to get flushed. Sellis trying to make his way up the hill, but he's going to run most likely straight into to Crazy Crew. And this circle is difficult to play because there's only so many areas you can play up on that mountain. I can see it in the distance over towards Impala. There are only so many places you can play from. This should be a vehicle explosion not needed. Juno gets found, and Mini and the guys, as I said, was nowhere there because none of them ever expected Team Spirit to be on this side of the circle. Never take anything for granted. Make those rotations smartly, and always expect there to be people everywhere, especially when we hit phase 4 and forward. Mini just managed to make his way in towards the, I guess you can say, industrial part of Impala. Oh, that's a vehicle explosion in just a second. It takes Mike down to 2 HP. Hasn't found his opponent around the corner. He's literally sitting on the door, but alrein able to get him down. Does get the flush in there, but he gets knocked in return. So nice attempt at a trade by Nihanas, but not able to get him in. Or get him down, I guess I should say. The push is coming up, though. GRHawk, he's by himself. Well, this would be an unfortunate way to lose 2 players. Should GRHawk prematurely push on this one. But he's now leaving. He has 2 teammates over on the other side of the road, and there's no reason for him to stick around. I like the disengage. Great play and good understanding from him to say, you know what, I'm not going to engage on this. But now he's running all the way around the building. That's a little scary when he could just vault through the window. Where are you going, Hawk? Just get inside the building. No reason to run around in the open when you have opponents nearby. 5, prone down. He ain't gonna be doing nothing for a little while longer. He's looking over towards Ferrari Breach, but unable to really spot any of them, I think. And then, well, back to Impala we are. This time around with a lot more players than what we've had previously. This is gonna be a horrible ending. I mean, if this next circle goes east, out on the other side of the mountain, it's just... Ooh, that's the thing. It kind of has to go center on Impala in order for this not to be a complete and utter chaos. Because one thing is when everyone in the city and other teams have to make their way in, normally either they can kind of fit their way in or it kind of just dies out quickly. But whenever it comes to all those teams that are inside the city having to try to get out, they all reach the point very quickly, which is like, well... odds are that if we try to drive away now, we're going to get blown up. So we might as well just try and take the fight inside the city. And then it becomes everyone fighting on the edge of the blue or in the blue, trying to get as many kills as they can, not really caring about the placement points. So we'll have to wait and see with the next circle. Mini, though. Pew! Markello's head taken off. I assume that he's going to think twice about peeking that one next time. Some creative observing from the StarLadder Observer crew. Providing us all the coverage, of course. I just cast from a clean feed. Now let's see. Intruders in a decent position. Proof getting knocked. So that's 2 guys from ToxicPlayers down. Again, nobody is shifting, nobody is pushing, so would assume to see no engagements on any of this. Apocalypse on the other side. Sellis is prone up on the top, and now this circle. Where is it taking us? Oh, we are actually going east, but we are keeping in all of Impala. So Sellis goes down. Now they got eliminated. Not 15th place, but 14th place. Stilla goes down and out. And one thing I'm a little concerned about here is the fact that, I mean, if this circle goes east once more, all of the teams in Impala can't just go east. They have to go around the mountain, and that's most likely going to get them killed. I would expect to see so many fights happening now, and it's already happening. MJ Esports knew they have to cross. That's going to be their most likely dead within seconds. Markelov is alive, but he's getting shot at as he throws. Constantly shot at. Ojala might be able to survive. Nope, not going to happen. Markelov almost paid with his life trying to get that flush in there, but it does happen. He secures a kill and eliminates MJ Esports. mageBane and GuessWho, they're alive on the southern side. Only 2 players remaining from that team, and there's so many players inside the city now with very limited opportunities on what to do. PLS, Boris, they're trying to get inside the city, but the Ferrari Breach trying to hold them from doing just that. Sando sends it forward. Where can you go in all of this? Fire is running around in the open, trying to make his way inside the circle. Sando blows himself up. There's so much going on right now. Nihana's eliminated. HeartShift out in the 11th place. Rizzo taken down at a distance. Saban spots 3 people, but doesn't start shooting. Now he does. That might be too late. Yep, indeed. Myrtle gets back into safety. Should have been a knock there, I would have thought, but they wanted to wait with shooting until his entire team was there to look down south. They have the entire north to themselves. Of course, they're not aware of this at this point. So trying to play it safe, play it smart for now. Marco in the blue. Is he just gonna nade himself? He might be better off just doing that, because I don't think Washout or Marco is gonna get out of this alive. And indeed they are. Nade yourself. Do not give away any of those kills, and indeed he does. There's no reason at all to give away points in a situation like this. mageBane and GuessWho, well, they've made their way to the church. Gonna try and stay put here. But the main issue right now is that if this circle goes east, if it goes away from Impala, only Wildcats and Crazy Crew are going to be able to make it inside. You can vault up. You can vault up from church, but if you try to vault up those hills while everybody's trying to make their way up in that direction, it's practically going to improve. You can't do that without getting killed, I would assume at least. Because that'll be one of those places that teams will be looking towards shooting at, because they know that's going to be the only way to get to the east. So I'm very curious. Like, this next shift could be absolutely horrendous for so many of these teams. We'll know in just about 5 seconds. Is it going out east towards Crazy Crew, or are we going back inside the city? The city shift it is. Unfortunately, now Crazy Crew can stay where they are. The guys in orange, they can stick around for a little while longer. Genso finds a crate just in the outskirts of the circle. Able to get an AOG if that's what he cares for. He does have M4 already, so might want to swap guns, and indeed he does. Gets the fully decked AOG out there, I would assume, alongside full level 3 key and a first aid kit. All of it very handy in those up close engagements. So they will now, alongside Crazy Crew, maybe have to make their way inside the city. And this is gonna be insane, guys. This is actually gonna be crazy. It's legit a like bottom to top full Impala ending. How many times can you say you've seen that? I mean, I've seen edge of Impala endings, but straight up inside the city, it's happened before, but it is a very rare occurrence that we don't get to see too often. And I also now, I mean, there's no way in hell of telling who's gonna win. It's gonna be like the next shift, wherever it goes, wherever the next circle goes, it's going to be so many crazy fights happening. Very, very, very difficult to. It's very difficult to be good at these endings. Like, it really is very difficult to be good in these scenarios. Crazy Crew gonna try to wrap the vehicle around, get themselves into a spot from which they can enter the circle. Makes perfect sense. Didn't want to wrap down towards Wildcats. They knew they were down there. And well, Crazy Crew, that's the thing, right? They can get down, but if the next circle goes east, then nobody can get up. As you can see, these cliffs, they're not exactly easy to maneuver through. And with everything, you can see all the players in here as well. Oh, BS Steve taken down by mageBane. Lasse is trying to hold, but he wasn't there to refrag. Apocalypse, though, from the other side is able to get down one, and that should be them with a potential chance of cat and mouse. Down he goes. I think, guess who is? No, he's in the shack on the other side. Okay, so at least they know now that they have the church building itself under control, so they can make at least attempt to make a play from up there. TonyTeam still inside the city. Intruders, huge potential. One player from Boris, and then we have Level on the other side. All of whom are trying to get home the win here in the final Miramar game of the day. Oh, that's a nicely timed flashbang. Unfortunately, Extens is able to avoid it. This is a pretty good position for him to be in, honestly. Dangerous for an opponent to expect someone to be standing on the railings there. But 20 seconds to go now. These fights are slowly starting to take place. Everyone is inside of the circle already, so no one really having to push through. But I think what we see here is intruders wanting to deal with the guys above them before the next circle shifts. Oh my lord, that nade is right on the feet of Eberino. Markov gets the knock, not able to get the flush immediately. But as you can see here, oh my lord, that's a sudden hard shift too. they know, intruders, if we don't deal with the guys behind us, we can't focus on the guys in front of us. So they want to deal, like they want to take out TonyTeam now before they have to push further forward themselves, which makes perfect sense. Now they got 2 knocks on it, I would say, and that's the prime time to try and make a play like that. But seems like they're playing a little passive. So we're going down towards Wildcats. I don't know, but Wildcats and circles on Miramar, there's something about it. They have had quite a few of them. And now they potentially get themselves one more. Crazy Crew are still inside of these 2 of the players are. And everyone else will have to make this run around through the open. It's gonna be so damn tricky for anyone to get up that hill towards the church. Because not only are Wildcats waiting up there, but you have a team like Crazy Crew with perfect vision on you on the entire time you spend running up that hill. With the canted side spots, one on the other side. Maybe shot a little too early. Could have waited a little longer. And this is just, I mean, this is Berlin 1945 all over again. I mean, there's just house to house to house for combat all the way through. This is gonna be so damn difficult for so many of these teams. Oh my lord, the underhand nade bounces off the back, not able to get anyone down. I thought that was gonna be in perfect position, but a little too short. Unfortunately, Pluto forced inside the building. Pluto forced inside the building. Not oftentimes you get to say Pluto while you're casting, unless if you cast space games. I'm sure people can do better Mickey Mouse impersonations than I can. Proof inside the building. That nade won't do any damage, and entirety now of their team is pushing on forward. I feel bad for the PCs trying to run these fights, because there's not going to be a lot of FPS available with all the smokes and all the people on top of each other. Sammy gets himself a double with the nade on towards Sap and then PagyrA. Both of them taken down. He's going to go down and return. No, and now Pluto spots one from outside. Great hold. Really good patience from Crazy Crew and trying to contain all the players making their way through. Proof has gone down as well, and all of a sudden there's just one player down from both of those teams, to be honest. Blackliht and moynick-sando, last player from each of their respective teams. Marco tries to run around, tries to get the flush out in the blue. That's just on the edge. He might actually be able to pull that one off. Wow. Blackliht inside the house on the other side. I'm not sure how him and Pluto don't see each other, but I think that's them on each their side of the building. moynick-sando falls back down behind the building again. They know exactly where they are. That nade should be the double, and indeed it is. Algae finds himself both Sammy and moynick-sando, and that's going to be ToxicPlayers down and out. Blackliht is waiting in the back room. Pluto should be able to hear him, I would have assumed. They're right next to him. Sorry. He was in the other house. Oh my lord, I can't breathe anymore, I'm dying. He was in the other house. And they're actually giving up on the search. Because they got the insta and the guys with the nade, right? That's the curse of solo casting from home. You don't have that cough button. I'm so sorry you guys had to listen to me almost die there for a second. But the Crazy Crew, 4 guys alive still somehow. The last 2 players have made their way down from the hills and like this play. There's no reason to keep them up there any longer. Because this is the final circle. I mean, if they had to run down whenever the circle closed in, they would just be killed off from afar. Yeah, F's in the chat for my lungs, I'm sorry. Extends, he's gonna find himself dead. Couldn't make his way any further forward, unfortunately. Blackliht is still inside the circle too. Murphle is trying to vault up here. That's a scary play. Immediately crouched and jumps back down. I don't think he got the info that he would have wanted. lQuickl finds the knock on towards one of the Crazy Crew players. And you can see, look at Wildcat's position. They have the church roof to play from now. This is such... I mean, that's just OP. Speaking of OP terms, right? That's just OP. They have all the vision in the world. Yes, they might have to push down the hill in the end, but that should be a guaranteed second place for them. Murphle tries to go for the knock. Won't pay out for him now. Molotovs are thrown forward, and lQuickl is going to have himself burn up. Unfortunately, Level still alive. Iffy able to get the kill. Blackliht is just proning on the backside. He's not going to engage in anything. He's not going to engage in anything. 16 players up in the final circle shrink of the 3rd game of the day. We get one more Wrangle game. Or not one more, but one Wrangle game to finish off the day after this one. And as you can see, oh, Blacklit's got to be spotted by Apocalypse, but no damage done. Able to sit on the roof for now, but there's no way in hell he's going to be able to get up on the next roof, that's for sure. But able to find these sneaky hiding spots. Look at the positioning from him. Able to hide it out extremely well. 2 players, only FLasm now actually alive from level trying to cross over. Vital goes down. Lhasa alongside Blackliht, able to do damage needed. Blackliht did get a flush on towards one, but able to find TarVilo as well. So that's 2 players down. TarVilo gets flushed by Blackliht, so able to accumulate points in a situation where he's all by himself. Very impressive. Very, very impressive indeed. He's proning on the roof, and he's only able to do this because Apocalypse on the other side. Pluto must see him. Indeed he does, but not able to get him down. Somehow Blackliht is still alive in this game. 1 HP, and he's still running through. Lhasa finds himself one more. That's Markelov down. Recorder down as well. Pluto goes down, and all of a sudden we just have 5 teams left alive. I say just, but we're in the last couple of circles of the last couple of seconds of the game, I guess you should say. 3 solos, a duo, and a 3-man strong Wildcats up on the top of the hill. Guess who? He's been hiding in the building for the longest time. Now he's going to be forced out. GRHawk spots him. Forced to take the fight. Gets down Hawk to have HP. Blackliht pushing around the corner. Spots out one. Not able to get the knock in. He needs to push further around. He goes down immediately. The duo is still alive. FLasm, 2 players alive underneath. They have to push out into the arms of Istanbul Wildcats. 1 guy down, 2 guy down. And from the side of it, they get the flush on towards the last remaining player. 2 and Wildcats on 2 different days get back-to-back wins. What a hell of a performance by the Turkish team. Wow. 9-kill win. Oh my lord. How did they survive that? 9-kill win followed by a 15-kill slaughter chicken dinner. That goes from being like chicken to pulled chicken, because they were ripping everyone apart. I mean, inside of Impala, that was just insane. Yes, they got the circles, but that was not an easy win by no means. They went up on the roof. They knew they had to play aggressive in order to contain teams, and they did very well. And these shots they're connecting, holy moly, was that a good game for Istanbul Wildcats. They should already be through. Based on this, they were sitting in first place coming into the game, and that this win should for sure put them through. But we saw a lot of good things, honestly. We saw, even though the circles were kind of harsh, and, city endings are city endings. We saw a lot of good things. You can see it here. I mean, Wildcats, they didn't just get the circles over on the eastern side for free. They were fighting all the way there. Again, it was not just about them being passive. They were being proactive. Of course, they don't leave a spot if they get a circle to stay there. But they were being active and hunting the spots they wanted to go get. Very, very, very impressive games by them. Even when they pushed up and BSD went down, they were immediately there to get the return kill on mageBane inside the clock tower. And then just this ending. They were I'm sorry, my solo, my shoutcasting abilities are, I think they're decent, but not as hypey as maybe some other shoutcasters. But it was very, very, very interesting ending. And the fact that, also Blackliht, the fact that he managed to get into 5th place and even get 2 kills extra for the team when we were in a situation where, hey, I thought he was just going to be by himself and they were completely called for. But very impressive solo performance by him. And you saw Lhasa up on the rooftop. Finds one, wasn't able to find the other. And they get themselves 15 kills. 15-kill win onto a 9-kill win from the game previously. Very impressive. So 2nd day with a double chicken dinner for Wildcats. And they have just secured themselves 4 wins in 11 games. That is extremely impressive. That's nothing short of it. That is very, very, very impressive. I'm sitting and I'm trying to think. Level, they were in first place previously. They got up there as well with a chunk of kills. Very curious to see how this leaderboard is going to look after the final match today, because obviously Wildcats, they should be, if not into 100 points plus already, then something close to it. And I think that it should be around over 100 points for them already. And we talked about you wanting to get around 90 to make it through. Like they don't even need to play tomorrow. They're probably going to be in top 8 no matter what. TonyTeam managed to rack up some kills. That should be decent for them. But a team that's had a hard time today, I'm looking at Stella. Stella has not had a good day today. They've had, I think, 3 or 4 kills in total. And this, as you can see here, one more 0-point match for them. Tough day for them so far. They want to turn things around. Of course, they did get the 16-kill game on a wrangle on day 2. So who knows? Who knows? That should be the day where they can rack up even more. We'll see if they can finish off the day strong. Crazy Crew, back again, able to get more points on the board. I'm interested in seeing where they sit in the overall leaderboards, because they were down. When their closest opponent had 35 points, they were still sitting at 9. And they have somehow managed to claw back into it. So impressive day, and look at the damage from Wildcats. They were just sitting above, tagging everything, and that's the issue, right? Nobody could focus them. There's not room for anyone to look up the hill. Last game we had one player at 499 damage. One player. That was the top damage dealer last game. This game we had 10 people with 900 damage or with 500 damage or more. That goes to show. Last game, top damage dealer 499. This game, 10th place, I think, had over 500 damage too. So very damage heavy, 2,300 damage, almost 2,400 damage for the Istanbul Wildcats. What a hell of a game for them. Absolute slaughter inside the city. But guys, with the final stats running over your screen here, we're going to go to a short break. I'll be back in just about 5 minutes. I'll catch some air. I'll try to breathe normally, and yeah, then I'll be ready to take you through the final game. See ya in just a while.